Hey everybody, and welcome to this last socialist very British Civil War update for at least some time. I feel like I've kind of nicely rounded off the army now with this artillery piece, and I'm going to move on to other things. So, this could be the last time we see the red armbands for quite some time. But I still have things to do for them. I still have a unit of miners and some kind of improvised anti-tank teams to get through. But I'm going to put them on the back burner for at least a little bit and move on to other projects, which I'll cover towards the end of the video. In terms of for now, though, well, it's not the end of very British Civil War. There's still battle reports, still lore videos I can do, and of course a whole new army as well with the kind of generic country militia faction I've been having on the hold for about 2 or 3 years now, and I can finally come and do that and give it the justice it deserves. But with that, we're going to the present, and this is the French 75mm Schneider light howitzer, I think. I'm not too good with the artillery, and I've never actually done any before for interwar, World War I or World War II kind of era. And looking at the rules for these in bolt action, they're brutal. Like, they could be taking out a whole squad in about 2 turns and pinning them to hell. So it might be a small gun by, the end of the war standards, but it's a powerful one, especially in the world of very British Civil War. But to go straight into it, obviously it had to have a little hammer and sickle on the front, didn't it? I mean, you have to get some kind of insignia in there. But I'm quite happy with this, kind of light weathering, and the guy on there who's kind of riding it with his nice armband. He's got a full military uniform as well. I feel like the people in the artillery would be more professional, like less kind of militia, more actually trained in artillery, because it's a lot of maths and stuff. So I feel like they would get first dibs of the uniforms, and they've obviously gone and kitted themselves out in a military kind of fashion. But I'm quite happy with the gun. I'll put that in the back just there. And obviously the crew as well. And let me swap hands so I don't get the shadow on it, because filming arrangements are quite awkward right now. Yeah, little guy there with a black beret, carrying a shell. So yeah, I'm quite happy with him. He's got the kind of puffed out breeches, I think. So yep, he'll obviously go loading it there. Another guy there with the kind of woolen cap, which is quite nice. Obviously these were designed for the Spanish Civil War. There's no kind of civilian or very British Civil War militia artillery crews out there, as far as I can find, except for the German Pak 88, weirdly. But none for the kind of smaller teams. And we've got the kind of, I guess one of the group leaders or something. He's got a stick. I think that was supposed to be the lighting stick or something like that. I mean, again, I don't know artillery too much. It's not something I've really ever looked into. But he's got a nice stick. He's also got quite the continental kind of forage cap, which might be a bit out of character, but I feel like you're going to get quite hot if you're crewing artillery, and you're going to want something light on your head, aren't you? So we'll put them over there. Yeah, overall, beautiful little team. I kind of turned this around in about 3 days or something, and I'm really happy with them. It's a nice little addition. Maybe in the future we'll come back and we'll do a grand socialist battery with several guns, because I did really enjoy doing the artillery, and I think it'll be quite interesting, deadly, dangerous, and quite a dick move if I had about 3 of them shooting onto the fascists. So maybe that's an idea for the future, but for now, again, this is the end for the socialists for now. We'll keep the People's Assault Column of Sheffield and Leeds in the barracks, waiting to murder the next fascist foe. So what's going on next? It's the Cold War project, Unternehmen 7 Tage bis zum Rhein, or Operation 7 Days to the Rhine, which was a Soviet plan to invade the west of Europe in 1979. So that'll be quite interesting. I've done my first figure for the East Germans, and I'll do a kind of project outlining video to fully go over it in the next few days. So you'll hear more from that. Very British Civil War. I'm going to get back to the fascists after I've done the Germans, and bolster them up a little bit, because the socialists have had a lot of upgrades recently, and I think the fascists need to be brought back into line so they can have a fair fight, a fair slug out on each other. So I hope you enjoyed this update. I'm quite happy with the results, to be honest with you. I hope you all feel the same. I'll just turn them around again so you can have a final look at them. So yep, they're all just there vibing. So hope you enjoyed this update. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.